On his media tour here at the Combine, Kyle Shanahan, kind enough to give us a few minutes. Kyle, last time we spoke was at the Senior Bowl, and you said the next month is all about self-scouting, figuring out who we have in the building, who we want going forward. What do you learn about your team, and is there a benefit to being able to step away from things and then come back in and learn about what you guys have got in the building?
Yeah, there is, because it's always what have you done for me lately. So if someone was awesome at the end of the year or really bad at the end of the year, that's what you remember. And you got to remember it's over 16 weeks. And I will always, the most important time is the end of the year, because that's usually the realest part. You know, did they stay in shape? How'd they play? But you never know. You go through a lot of emotional times as a season. You get away for a couple weeks, you come back and you watch it. You get a much better grasp. And I don't get how you can't do that before you really look at free agency.
What did you learn about your team?
I thought watching guys, when you watch it in game order, you see how much better guys got throughout the year. And I thought that showed up a lot towards the end. I think guys coming into next year, you can show them and try to figure out why'd you start off differently than you finished. Why didn't you play the same way at the beginning of this year as you did in our first year together? Some rookies, it took a while to get there, and all right, you felt comfortable at the end of the year. What was that? And that happened to us in our first year. But then some guys come back and they played high at the end of the first year, but then bad at the beginning of the second year. So you talk to each individual about that. You make them well aware of it, because a lot of times those guys don't know. You know, they had their first year in the league, maybe second. They're excited that they made it, that they get away. They come back, and they're not the same guys. So it's just constantly communicating and trying to tell them the truth.
Big picture, there's so many ways this could turn out with free agency, with the draft. So how do you even go about big picture, making a strategy? Is there perfect world, this is what it looks like, and then you have a contingency plan off of everything, whatever random factor and variable that comes into it from there on out?
Yes, definitely. You always have your ideal way, which never happens. Then you got to connect the dots, because you love plan A and plan B, but usually when plan A doesn't work, it's half of plan B and half of plan E, and it's how to mix them all together. And money's tied into that. Decisions you make now are decisions that'll affect the decisions you make next year. Decisions you make now will affect us of what we have to do in the draft. So all this stuff ties together, and you always want to make the right decision, but sometimes you can't decide the first decision until you can predict the third decision. So it sounds confusing, but that's why we work in the off season. And everyone asks why. Everyone thinks we got the off season off because we're not coaching games, but this is stuff we got to figure out.
You said after the season that you didn't anticipate many coaching changes. All of a sudden, the whole league is trying to poach your offensive staff. And one, is that a surprise? And two, what do you make of some of the changes, and what can some of the new faces bring to your coaching staff?
Well, yeah, I was a little surprised, and everyone's told me, hey, when you win, be ready, because everyone's going to raid you. So, I know we didn't have a great record. I knew going 4-12, I'm like, all right, they're not going to raid us this year. And then we had 4 guys try to get taken from our offensive staff. So it definitely woke me up a little bit, realized I need to be prepared for that. We've gotten a number of guys in here, some new guys that will prepare for us to be able to handle that stuff as that does happen, because I definitely plan on us winning more, and I know we're going to lose more as that goes. So it's a credit to those guys, though. We got some good guys on our staff, and I'm glad that people know that.
Kyle, thanks so much.
No problem.